Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cybersecurity Standup. I'm on day 3, the final day of the Gartner Security and Risk Management Conference in the National Harbor. I think the rain's coming, but so far we've had very good weather. And I am so excited to be joined by let's dive right into intros. Yep. Who are you and what are you doing?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so Rob Amezcua, I'm the Senior Vice President of Sales for Forescout worldwide.
Fantastic. So I've already heard a little bit of buzz that you might have an interesting path into cyber. Tell me how you got to where you are today.
Well, I don't have an interesting path, but I've been in cyber for a long time. Okay. Like I tell people, I was actually in cyber before cyber was cool. Okay, and so I'm basically an OG of the cyber world. Totally. And no, it's been great. I've been fortunate enough, blessed, and a little lucky, all along the way to be able to get to this point. But I've been surrounded by amazing people, great mentors, great leaders all along my journey. So I have all of them to thank for my good fortune, for sure.
Anyone you want to particularly shout out? I felt like you were about to say, and thank you to all my fans.
Oh, man, if I started shouting them all out, I'd probably leave a couple out and hurt their feelings. Yeah. So let's just say all of you.
All of you. Shout out to all of you. Fantastic. So we're on day 3 of the show, and things are kind of starting to wrap up. What have been your impressions of themes this year, big topics you're seeing? What's your impression?
Yeah, day 3, our dogs are barking for sure. We've been standing, walking a lot over the last couple of days. The impressions are great. I think number one, first impression is we've got a healthy industry. Yeah. Look around. Good gracious. There's a lot of focus on cyber, a lot of investment in cyber, a lot of attention on cyber. Cyber's still cool. And that's exciting, for somebody like me who's been in it for many years. And, I think the industry is strong. I think, talking to a lot of the attendees, they need us. That's the other great part. You want to be in a place in which you're needed. And, cyber is a community sport and endeavor. It's a team sport. And, these vendors, we all compete, but we're all a family. And, we need to all help the practitioner out there, get a little safer.
Is there anything that kind of kept appearing in conversations that you had, something that people are really focusing on or that's top of mind for the next couple of months or years?
Yeah, I think, it's interesting. I've, again, doing this for 27 years or so, security has evolved for sure, but it's evolved in ways that it's all still about the basics, and not a lot fundamentally has changed. You still got to be able to see what you're securing. You got to be able to turn those lights on in the dark parts of your rooms and your networks, and you got to be able to understand the identity of people. You got to be able to understand access. You got to be able to understand applications, data, and you got to be able to put all that equation together. And I think the trend is, or the thing I've seen talked about a lot because it's a hot topic. When things go bad is ransomware attacks. How do you recover from that? How do you prevent it? How do you contain? How do you mitigate? How do you enforce? How do you block? How do you get through consensus? And how do you do all that on tight budgets and with no resource? So it's a complex equation. Good luck to us all. Yeah.
Seriously. You're right. That is a complex equation. If you had to say an answer to that equation, what's the result? Do you have any tip, any solution that you're thinking about that's really relevant to solving these problems?
Well, I think you got to be holistic. I think the answer to that question is actually probably the opposite of what you expect. I don't think there is no silver bullet in security. And quite frankly, if there was, I'd be retired long ago and I'd be leaving this to somebody else. But it's one of those things where I think you need all sorts of aspects of the equation, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to kind of stitch all the pieces together, and you need platforms that can make other tools better, that can complement, that can be agnostic to the equation, that can help you integrate, help you orchestrate, help you automate so that you can get that force multiplier because nobody has enough money and nobody has enough people. Definitely. So you got to make the tech work for you. Yeah. That's
actually really good advice, I think. And I think what I've noticed about being that this show as opposed to something like RSA, a lot more people on the show floor here are willing to have that conversation. Yeah, are you finding that as well?
I totally agree. I think I was actually telling a CISO earlier, whether they're inside the CISO circle or they're just here attending and part of the show floor, the community aspect of this conference, I think, is fantastic. It's great to see. These guys are information sharing. They're sharing problems. You know, it used to be that security was a secret. It's like, well, it's security. I can't really talk about it. Everybody's talking about it now because they need each other. And I think they're more open with the vendor community as well because, you know, we've got great perspective. We've got ways to help. We may not always be able to solve all the problem, but we can certainly maybe pick up pieces and parts of it. And, you know, we can make everything else they're doing a little bit better. So it's been a fun conference.
I really agree. I'm glad to hear you say that too. Okay, final question. What's something that, whether, you know, from this show or just more broadly speaking, that you wish we were talking about more? What's something that's like in the wings, maybe it keeps you up a little bit, that's top of mind?
You know, I wish we were talking about being proactive a little bit more. I still think security is incident driven. I still think it's very reactive in nature. My heart bleeds a little bit for the CISOs out there. I think they've got a tough job. And I think they need to be able to use the proactive nature and really the learnings of a reactive event to be able to go drive more consensus, you know, be able to fight through some of the resistance that they get inside their organizations to be able to safely secure them properly. It's not all about availability. Sometimes you got to do it in a safe fashion. And I'd like to see those teams kind of come together and start thinking about things in a post-incident matter, but in a pre-incident posture. Does that make sense?
I'm going to have to listen to that clip back, I think. But yes, sounds very insightful. It
doesn't make sense, but hopefully it does.
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, sounds good.
Amazing. Well, if people want to connect with you or find out more about you on the internet, where can they do that?
Well, they can find us at Forescout. They can find me there and find us on LinkedIn, find us all over the place. But yeah, come be informed, not influenced.
Ooh, is that your tagline?
That's my tagline.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Amazing. Well, Rob, thank you so much for your very generous, with your time today. I really appreciate you coming by, and we'll see you next time out in cyberspace.